I used to think I had it all. A beautiful wife, a stable career, and a home filled with laughter. We were that couple, the ones people looked at and admired. We met in college, fell hard, fast, and built a life that seemed straight out of a dream. Our 10th anniversary was approaching, and I was excited. I had been planning a surprise getaway to the coast, even booked a private dinner on the beach. I just wanted to remind her how much she meant to me. Lately, though, things felt different. She'd been distant. Not in a cold, hostile way, just absent. Her smiles felt rehearsed. Her hugs were brief. She'd stay late at work more often, citing meetings or last-minute projects. I didn't want to be the jealous husband, so I let it go, trusting her. But it chipped away at me. Then there were the little things. Her phone, once left carelessly on counters or couches, was now always glued to her hand. Face down. Password changed. I asked her about it once, half joking. She laughed it off, said she had client-sensitive stuff now. I nodded, pretending it made sense. But it didn't. One night, she came home late again. Her hair was done, makeup still fresh. She said she had dinner with her team. I wanted to believe her, but something didn't sit right. She hugged me, told me she was tired, and headed straight to the shower. That night, while she slept, I sat in the living room staring at nothing. My gut was screaming, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I started watching closer. No accusations, just observation. She laughed a little too long at texts. She guarded her phone like it was her lifeline. One day, I caught a glimpse of a message flash on her screen, just a preview. Can't wait to see you again. No name, no details. But my stomach turned. Asked her who it was, and she brushed it off with a smile. Just a client being funny, she said. I didn't push. But I started thinking, remembering. Late nights. Forgotten dates. The way she'd stopped saying, I love you first. It hit me that I had been ignoring the truth because I didn't want to lose the fantasy I'd built. I wanted so badly for everything to be okay that I let myself drown in excuses. Then something snapped. I realized I deserved to know. Not because I wanted to catch her, but because I needed clarity for my own peace. I wasn't going to confront her blindly. I was going to be smart. Our anniversary celebration was days away. I smiled when I looked at her that night across the dinner table, acting like everything was normal. She smiled back, but I could see the distance in her eyes. She had no idea I already knew. The moment I saw them together, everything inside me went silent. It was a Thursday. I told her I had a late meeting, just to create a window. I followed her after she left the house, keeping my distance. I didn't expect to actually find anything that night. I think some part of me still hoped I was wrong. She parked outside a boutique hotel, not one of the chain spots, something quieter. I waited. 10 minutes later, a man walked up to her car and got in. They didn't waste time. Kissing. Smiling. Her hand on his knee like it belonged there. I didn't need to see more. I left before they walked inside. I didn't feel anger at first. Just numb. Like I was watching someone else's life. I drove for hours that night, not really going anywhere. My phone buzzed with a message from her. Hope your meeting went well. Miss you. I stared at it, trying to understand how she could lie so effortlessly. I went home. She was already in bed, pretending to be asleep. I lay next to her, staring at the ceiling. My mind kept playing their interaction on a loop, her laughing, touching him like she used to touch me. It wasn't just the cheating. It was how easy it was for her. How natural. The next few days, I acted normal. If anything, I was kinder. I wanted her to stay comfortable, unaware. I started gathering information. I went through phone bills, tracked patterns, even took screenshots. Every lie she told after that felt like a brick stacking on top of another, building something I knew I'd eventually burn down. She had a type, corporate, well-dressed, predictable. From what I learned, they'd been meeting for at least 3 months. Maybe more. He wasn't single either. They had a system. Private emails. Meetups scheduled like business appointments. She even had a second number. I found out she'd once taken him to a place we used to visit. That broke me in a different way. Not out of jealousy, but because it made me realize she wasn't just sneaking around. She was reusing memories.
Ours.
Repurposing them for someone else. It was calculated. Cold. I thought about confronting her. Screaming. Throwing evidence on the table. But I stopped myself. She'd just lie again. Maybe even cry, say she made a mistake. I didn't want apologies. I didn't want her guilt. I wanted clarity and control. That's when I knew. Our anniversary party wasn't going to be a celebration. It was going to be my stage. I'd been the fool for too long, sitting in a false fairy tale. I had no interest in revenge for the sake of pain. I wanted her to feel exposed the way I had. Vulnerable.
Caught.
So I smiled when she kissed me goodbye the next morning. I told her I loved her, and she said it back. But her words didn't land. I was already gone. The night of our anniversary arrived, and everything was exactly as she had planned. She picked the venue, invited the guests, made a show of handling every detail like the devoted wife she pretended to be. I let her. I played my role, smiled, nodded, complimented her dress. She had no idea that this night was going to be hers to remember for all the wrong reasons. I didn't show up alone. I walked in with someone by my side, a woman she didn't know. Stunning, poised, dressed elegantly. She wasn't my girlfriend, not even someone I was romantically involved with. Just a friend I'd asked to help me make a point. From the moment we entered, conversations paused. Heads turned. My wife's smile faltered the second she saw us. She approached quickly, keeping her expression tight. "Who's this?" she asked, voice calm but sharp underneath. I introduced them casually, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. "A friend," I said. "We've been spending some time together lately." Her eyes scanned my guest, then flicked back to me, trying to keep control. "You didn't say anything about bringing someone," she said. I shrugged. Didn't think it was important. Thought tonight was about celebrating what matters. The message landed. She knew I knew. Her hands clenched slightly, but she kept up the act. We sat. Toasts were made. She tried to smile through it all, but I saw her glance at me constantly, looking for answers that I refused to give. I didn't confront her. I didn't mention the affair. I didn't need to. My calm was the weapon. My silence the trigger. She was spiraling quietly, trying to connect the dots. My behavior confused her. There was no anger, no accusations. Just a version of me she hadn't seen before, detached, unreadable. She tried to pull me aside at one point, asking what was going on. I smiled. "Nothing," I said. "I just wanted tonight to be honest. For once." She tried to play the victim next, whispering about how distant I'd been lately. I almost laughed. I reminded her that distance doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's created.
Carefully.
Repeatedly. She had no response. My friend remained graceful, never overstepping. She wasn't there to mock or provoke, just to exist. Her presence alone rewrote the entire narrative. For the first time in months, I felt in control. I wasn't begging for the truth. I wasn't being gaslight. I was standing in it, fully aware of the game she thought she was winning. By the time dessert was served, the mask was slipping. She made passive-aggressive comments, asked pointed questions. I let them slide. She wanted me to crack. She needed the upper hand back. But I didn't give her the satisfaction. That night, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't humiliate her in front of everyone. I didn't need to. My presence, and the one beside me, was enough to tear the illusion apart. Her fury wasn't about love. It was about losing control. And she knew it was just the beginning. The morning after the celebration, she was waiting for me in the kitchen. She tried to act composed, but I could see the panic in her eyes. She asked if we could talk. I nodded, sat down, let her speak first. She started with questions. Who was the woman? Why I brought her? What point I was trying to make? I didn't answer. I waited. Eventually, she dropped the act and went for guilt. She said she felt disconnected lately, like we were drifting apart, like I'd been distant, and she didn't know why. I told her I knew everything. I watched her face change, shock first, then denial, then something like calculation. She asked what I meant. I told her plainly, the hotel, the man, the texts, the second phone number. I recited it all like a list.
She didn't try to lie.
She knew there was no point. Instead, she blamed the affair on stress, said she never meant for it to get serious. Said it was a mistake. Said she still loved me. That word, love, meant nothing by then. I told her I wasn't angry. I was done. That hit harder than yelling ever could. She started crying, asking for another chance, saying people make mistakes. I reminded her it wasn't a mistake. A mistake is one wrong decision. This was consistent, intentional,
Hidden.
maintained. For months. I told her I would be filing for divorce. Her voice cracked. She asked if we could go to counseling, fix what was broken. I said I wasn't interested in repairing something she spent months destroying. In the weeks that followed, things unraveled quickly for her. Her affair partner ghosted her, blocked her number. Whatever fantasy she built with him vanished the second it stopped being secret. Word got out. A mutual friend of ours saw them together once and started connecting dots. Quietly, people began stepping back. The same friends who once envied our relationship now looked at her with discomfort, maybe even pity. Her perfect image was collapsing. She tried texting me late at night. Long messages. Apologies. Memories. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. I wasn't punishing her. I was detaching. I focused on myself. Got back into the gym. Reconnected with friends. Traveled.
Laughed.
Slept better. Peace has a way of returning when you remove what disturbs it. Divorce went through without drama. She didn't fight for anything. Maybe she knew she didn't have the ground to stand on. She moved out. I cleared the space. Not just physically, but emotionally. I stopped wondering why she did it. Stopped replaying her lies. I didn't need closure from her. I gave it to myself. Months later, I ran into someone real, grounded, nothing like her.
We talked.
Nothing serious, but for the first time, I felt possibility again. Not because I needed someone, but because I was free. She lost a husband who would have done anything for her. I lost someone who never deserved that love. It wasn't revenge. It was consequence. And I didn't lift a finger. She gave herself everything she deserved. I just stepped out of the way.